Quick recap before I get into the details of how I made this clay thing. I made a video called S.H.R.Imp where I made a similar character and described what motivated me to start making these. But I also released 2 other videos on the S.H.R.Imp as well because it fell apart and I had to remake it. So this one is a follow-up to all 3 of those videos, and it's a new imp project. And I should probably clarify, if anybody watching this does not know, the imps are of course from a Plants vs. Zombies video game, Garden Warfare 2. So yeah. So unlike the Pylon Imp, instead of filming everything afterwards, I filmed updates as I went through and made this imp, so I'm just going to play all the updates back to back to back until the end, so you'll see the progression of how I made it. Here it is, the beginning of the shrimp mech. I got a plastic cup, slathered it in pink clay. I was using this magenta clay, but it's too dark, so I got a lot of white clay and mixed it in to make it a bit brighter. And you can see these darker stripes, that's the original magenta color, and then everything else is what I mixed with white. And so there's the white and magenta stripes, and then everything else is mixed. And this is the only detail I've really added on the back. It's kind of opened up. You can see these 2 like rectangles, which are kind of supposed to be like how the back like opened up and revealed this hole. There's this little black bulb holding up his laser blaster. That's his method of attack. This is a toothpick going all the way through, and I put black and pink and magenta on it. And these front 2 are wires going in. These back 2 are not, because I tried wires and they kind of were too heavy and started falling out. So I'm gonna leave it like this, and if it doesn't fall, it'll stay like this, but if it does fall, then it'll need to be replaced. But it looks pretty sturdy, so, and it really isn't that heavy, so hopefully it stays. But yeah, I haven't made the imp himself yet. Haven't made much of anything else yet. I'm gonna finish this top part. I have this piece. It's like an old piece of like, you know, like these little prize machine toys. It would be this in the bottom, and that will be on the back here because the shrimp has like a little fish tank on the back. So this clear piece will be used for the fish tank. So I gotta add the fish tank, make sure the gun stays up, and then I will get to work on the tail, which will be holding up this whole plastic cup. That'll be reinforced with wires. That'll be the hard part to make. This is the shrimp part 2, baby. The gun, I didn't actually have to edit the ray gun at all. It stood up on its own, so it's good. And so I added these eyes just by smushing them on, and these like antenna parts, these 4, by sticking in wires into the clay, because the actual plastic cup that the clay is on ends like right here. So there's no cup stopping it from just pushing through. And I added these little details, these little like stud parts on the bottom of his thing, and added these little gray bits, which once I get to the bottom half, I'll add another little gray piece on each side, because he has 2 on each side, but I haven't gotten low enough to add the second one. And then this, my favorite part, the little fish tank. Hey. The little fish tank. And it is made out of that little plastic thing from the last part I recorded. And it has some blue clay, some water splashing, and it has a little fish in it. Isn't that so beautiful? But yeah, that is the shrimp. Okay, real quick shrimp update. I didn't do anything else to the top. This is the base. It is the tail and the base and the wires. And on the wires, there will be water coming out and gushing up out of the tail. And yeah, there are wires in here to make it so it doesn't just collapse like a thin piece of clay. When I put the top on like that, look at that, that's what the shrimp is going to look like, but with an imp inside and with water on the bottom. So yeah, this is the shrimpy tail, and that is where the shrimp is at thus far. Hello, it is kind of late, so I'm not going to be very loud, but this is the shrimp now. As you can see, I've added some details. I added gray pieces to the bottom half. I added legs to the bottom half, little shrimpy legs, and I added fuzzy dice hanging. We found magnet tape and put a couple pieces inside and stuck one piece of tape to the inside of the cup and the other piece of tape to the fuzzy dice so it would hang them up at the top. That's how I did that. And yeah, not a whole lot got added. I just made some refinements. See you next time. Hey, shrimp update. The dice fell out, they didn't work, so I'm gonna have to figure something else out. But here he is standing up, fully standing up. I put water on the bottom, as you can see. I haven't stopped yet because I want to put the imp in and make sure everything works okay. But assuming it does, I'll put kind of it splashing up around the edges so it looks like it's shooting out the tail and then splashing up around him. But for now, I'm leaving it like this so I can experiment with it, make sure it stands. Then over here, I've made some unrelated, just unattached kind of silly accessories, like this big puffer fish and this cut up swordfish and this very silly looking squid. So yeah, just kind of made kind of like I made the pylon mines for the pylon imp. I wanted to make something for this guy, so I made little fish that are actually in the game, and I'll get more into that later. Boom, shrimp update. It's late again, so I have to be quiet again. But I brought down Phillip, the pylon imp, in order to use him himself as a reference for the shrimp, which I've begun on. I made no progress on the mech, or the fish are done, and I haven't tried messing with the fuzzy dice yet. I need to get back to that, but I made the shrimp, or at least started. You see he's got his legs with his shorts and his boots. He's got the belt buckle with the Z on it. All the pouches. He's got the purple pants and the purple stripe on his belly and this little collar part. And I need to add his jetpack on the back, just like this one has, and all his head details. But I probably won't add his arms yet until I've made the control panel for him, which I'll have to make next. Shrimp update. Look at him, he's been made. He's got the jetpack now. And he has the helmet and his face. And the helmet with the shrimp on it. I had to make its front antenna kind of flat because otherwise it won't fit in the plastic cup, so had to compromise a bit there. They're supposed to be sticking up, but you know, it's fine. You can't really even see it, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, if you see, he's gonna sit on the platform, which is over there, and then the cup like that goes over him, and that's him. And I'm gonna add a couple little joists. He doesn't have arms, if you've noticed. That is a slight detail that is yet to be added. But I'm gonna add 2 little sticks in front of him for him to grab and steer with. And I'll probably make his arms after I add the sticks to the platform, because otherwise I won't know what length the arms need to be. So that should be the final thing. And then I'll set it on this, and if it doesn't collapse and kill itself, then I'll finish up the water, clean that up, and then it'll be done. Shrimp. Look at him now. He has arms, and they attach to hands, which are grabbing these little steering sticks. And I had to shrink this back part a little bit to make it fit in the cup, kind of crush this a little bit to make sure it all fits, because just like that. Look at that. If this can stand up without collapsing, then I'll add final details to the water, and that will be it. Hello. One last shrimp update. I added the water splashing up and cut off the wires hanging out, so it actually looks decent now. And yeah, the shrimp is finally actually finished, so I guess I'll play the montage. So yeah, you've probably seen most of the details from updates throughout the video, but here's the old finished shrimp. He's got the details, the eyeballs, the blaster laser, wires in those front purple bits. He's got the little fish tank with the fish in it, the stripes on the side, the little gray bolt things on either side, all the little bumps on the tail, the water coming out and splashing up, which is his base, and then the little shrimpy legs. And of course you can see through here, and let me set this camera down so I take the top off and reveal the shrimp underneath. He's got his jetpack, he's got the shrimp on his head, he's got his hands holding the two little joystick controllers, the Z on his belt, the little pouches on his belt, the stripe on his shirt. And yeah, that is the complete shrimp. And of course, over here we have the pufferfish extra detail, this dead swordfish, the squid. And those are, of course, from, in the video game, these are from Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare 2. There's a quest where if you go visit all these fish in the right order, you can get a prize, so that's what these are based off of. That is the end of the shrimp video. Hope it was insightful. And yeah, I guess I have to name him. I named the S.H.R.Imp Phillip, so the shrimp is Simon. There you go. And there is a third imp I'd like to make. I know there's 7 imps in the game, but there's only 3 of them that I really am that interested in making, and I've made 2 of them. So there might be a final imp video. Maybe I'll change my mind and make a couple more, but for now there's only 3 I want to make, so be looking out for a 3rd one at some point, I guess. Well, I guess technically a 5th one, because there were 3 on the S.H.R.Imp.